More and more people are looking for foods that reflect a local, more sustainable, and environmentally responsible diet. So finding the proper fare, however, can be a little challenge with many components to consider, especially when it comes to your seafood. Joining us is cookbook author and James Beard-nominated chef Jennifer Bushman. Good morning to you, Jennifer.
Good morning, Tiffany. It's so great to be back. How are you?
I'm doing great. And you know, it's so true. People really want to make their diet the best that they can and also be good for the environment. And a lot of people know one thing that we should do is add more fish to our diet. How do we do that?
You know, it's amazing. We keep hearing about that, and I think what people hear about first and foremost is omega-3s. And that's the main reason why you want to eat more fish and have your children eat more fish, because omega-3s are something that we actually don't produce ourselves. We have to consume them. And of course, now you're hearing a lot about ocean health and ocean sustainability, and that becomes part of the factor because where you source and how you source your seafood can actually depend upon whether or not it's going to be rich in omega-3s or not. So there are a couple of things. You know, ocean issues really can be drilled down to one thing, and that's consumption. And in some areas of the world, the ocean is actually decimated by as much as 70%. And of course, you know, we need the oceans for things that maybe are obvious, like our food supply, but also things that maybe are not so obvious, like things like our climate is regulated by the ocean. And so the ocean is this great bounty, but right now it really is in depletion. And so when you look at sourcing your seafood sustainably, it becomes very important for a number of reasons, because how something is caught in these fisheries or raised, like in aquaculture, will really depend on how healthy your seafood is.
Okay, so do we always want to make sure that it's that our seafood is not farm raised, or is there any good like aqua places, like you said, like an aqua farm?
Right. Now, there are a number of things. That's the good news, is in order to save the wild stocks, we've had to get better at how we raise fish as well. It's kind of a balance because, for example, only 1 pound out of the 4 pounds that consumers eat in the United States of salmon is actually wild. So we have to find a way to have that balance in nature. There's also a great resource. So if you are looking for sustainable seafood, there is one of the most important certifications in the world is called Seafood Watch. It's actually by the Monterey Bay Aquarium out in California. And what you can do is so simple. If you'll download an app on your phone that they have, you can see it at the App Store. It's called Seafood Watch. And what you do is you just type in what seafood you're looking at the seafood counter and the country of origin. It'll actually tell you whether or not it's sustainable. So what I love about that actually is that now we have a real-time tool in the grocery store, whether or not the store's telling us where it comes from, that actually tells us if it's sustainable. So that's helpful. The one I have today is actually Verlasso salmon. And Verlasso is the only Atlantic ocean-raised salmon that's ever been given a good buy alternative rating by Monterey Bay Aquarium Seafood Watch. So here's one of the ones you were asking about. You know, you have a beautiful fish that has the same omega-3s as wild, the same fat content that is actually farmed. So very important. So what I did was I took a group together, including two-time James Beard Award winner Chef John Ash and top chefs like Jonathan Sawyer, as well as Susan Finnegar, and I wrote a new cookbook. And the book is actually called Sea Change, and it's filled with all kinds of beautiful recipes. Take a look at this. This is a quick marinated salmon from Chef John Ash. And all I've done is marinated it with lemon juice, a little bit of capers and greens, and then you can serve it with a salad for a really quick dinner. Now, we've talked, the last time I was there, we were actually talking about kids and back to school and how do you get your kids to eat more fish? Well, let me show you this recipe. This is an olive oil poached salmon. So literally, you turn the oven on at 300 degrees, you put the salmon in olive oil and roast it for about 15 to 20 minutes. And what ends up happening is the really strong flavors end up actually being easily sweetened by that. Now, you can find the book for free at www.verlasso.com/preparation. Everybody can have it. It's wonderful.
That's great. Free cookbook for all.
Yeah, free cookbook for all, www.verlasso.com/preparation, and you'll get all of these great recipes as well as tips on how to get the salmon and source it more sustainably.
Love it. Thanks so much. I appreciate you being with us here, Jennifer.
Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. And here's that website again. It's verlasso.com/preparation.